Hello, my friends. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hi, Greg. Thank you for joining. Do you calculate the time right? I hope so. I hope so. Should be right. Okay. Was it scheduled for 8 o'clock, right? As far as I know. Okay. Yeah, you did. Okay, that's good. All right. So how are you doing? How is everybody doing? Hi, Agnes. Thanks for joining. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get this show started. We had a really interesting challenge this week. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Johan. How are you doing? Yeah. Hey, right where you come from. It's always interesting to see where people are coming from. Christian from Frankfurt. Hi, how are you doing? Very nice to see you here. I hope you had a good week and good time, nice time. Hi, Alexandrino. How are you doing? Ellen from France. Hi, how are you doing? Greg from Mississippi, USA. Okay, nice. Daniel from Honduras. Hi, Jens. How are you doing? Very nice to see you. Awesome. Okay, I think some new faces around. Of course, some people I already know. From Gouda, Holland. Hi, Rob. Thanks for joining. Awesome. How do you make the cheese symbol? Is it one of the normal smileys? I didn't know that. Oh, okay. So a lot of stuff down here. So lots of foods here too. Interesting. Oh yeah, there we have some cheese. Okay, cool. Interesting. So many possibilities. Hi, Jack from Flagstaff, Arizona. Nice to have you in the stream. Really awesome. Really cool. Okay, today I do some landscape compositing. I want to try something I've never tried before. But before that, we will look at the challenge of this week. Hi, Jens. Sorry, not Jens. Jens from Dresden, Germany. Marian from Koblenz, Germany. Hi, how are you doing? Awesome to have you in the stream. Very nice. In the Android Emotion Library, emoticon. Ah, okay, library. Interesting. Hi, Bruce from Toronto. Thanks for joining. Awesome. Good. I hope everybody has a good week, a good time. Lots of stuff going on. We had elections today. You have in the US elections soon, so a lot of stuff going on. a lot of conversations also. Autumn is coming, beautiful nature, beautiful trees. I hope I can but go to the countryside next weekend to take some nice photos and then edit them, hopefully, in the live stream. Let's see if that also works out. Alexandrina is from Portugal. Hi. Best wishes to Portugal. Marco from Serbia. Hi. Thanks for joining. Bruce from Toronto, Canada. Hi. Really nice to see people are from all over the world. Really cool. Okay. Yeah. Good. Let's go through the topics of what everybody has posted. So I will switch my screen over. I can still see your chat. I will move the chat over here. 1 second. Okay, there we go. This is the work view. Everything's set up right? Can you see the full screen? Yes, I think that's everything. Okay, good. So this time the challenge was the question, not an exercise, a photo exercise, but the question, if you had a magical wand that would solve one of your photo editing problems, what problem would that be? And that's kind of it's a different question than asking what kind of tutorial do you want to see or stuff like that. Because it's more of a gut feeling, you know? If you ask what kind of tutorial, it's more like a specific question. You try to think about a topic, about something that could be interesting, something like that. But everybody has a gut feeling or something that annoys them where they say, if I could just like have this problem solved for me, that would be awesome. Like with a click, with a magic wand, just go boom and it's gone. That would be nice. So yeah. That was the question for this week. Let's see what the answers were. And there are a lot of specific things. So James says selections of images, especially long hair. I think that is suggested multiple times. Noel says, I need that oracle that tells me what look would fit the best depending on the given colors and feelings. That is actually a good question. I talked a little bit about that in my last tutorial from yesterday. By the way, did you like that tutorial or didn't you like it? I was a little bit in between because I liked it. At the same time, there were a lot more things I wanted to talk about, but I didn't want it to make too long. So I'm not sure. Also, after I uploaded it, I remember, oh, I forgot a really important thing that I will include in the next one, and that is to have the right tools for the right task. There's a really important thing, a big mistake also, to just try to solve problems on your own when there is a perfectly good tool that can solve it for you in a better way. And I talked a little bit about how do you find out what kind of style you want to do, what works with pictures. And of course, like I always say, look at pictures you like, look at artists you like, what they do, take notes, that's important. And you can, for an exercise, try to replicate that, and you get, it's more experience. But the other important thing, and this is something I did at a more like an exclusive video for my Facebook group, a little talk there, where I talked about what is photography and how people experience photography. And the interesting thing is, that most people think about photography as something that is documenting as it is, which technically is not, because you make so many decisions when you take the photo. And this leads most people, or a lot of people, to think that a photo is showing, like, only, like, how can I say? Because you have this idea of it's a connection to reality, you have the idea of an artistic intervention, like putting your own style on it, is just something that is allowed for artists, but not for the layman, not for the everybody man, you know? Artists can have an artistic style and artistic kind of expression in their photographs, but the other people can't. You just take photos and then you edit and make them a little bit nicer, but you can't have your own style, which is not true. And we wouldn't have that thinking if it was another art form, like, for example, music, where you don't have an original, because there is like, not, music is a very human kind of thing, and you have to come up with your own stuff if you want to make your own music. So you can't replicate something, and then it's apparent that everybody has to find a style and an expression in something they like. And photography is kind of the same, and so you have to figure out, what do I like, what are the things that I want to photograph, in what way do I want to photograph them and edit them. And this will tell you also where to look for artists and artworks and styles and learn from them. So that could be a good answer. Okay, that was a really long answer for that. I'm not going to answer every of these that long, just like that was an interesting topic. So let's go through the other ones here. Also, let's look at the chat. Hey, Colin from Cornwall, thank you very much for joining. Really awesome. Let's see. Samuel says, perfect color selection, for example, selecting the smoke in this image and removing it while keeping what is behind. What? I don't understand. Perfect color selection. For example, selecting the smoke in this image and removing it while keeping what is behind. Oh, that smoke. Oh, selecting things that are transparent is really complicated. And removing it, especially when it's like there is something complex behind it, you know? That is really complex to do. Yeah, okay, but it's an interesting question. For example, how do you select glass? Stuff like that. Selecting transparent things is really complex. But it would be an interesting tutorial. Compositing multiple photos into one and learning to the order of bringing them in. Mask versus inverted mask, blending edges. Yeah, okay. How to build up a composite. Interesting. It's also interesting, yeah. I think a lot of it is playing around with the different basically like ingredients. I often compare photo editing to cooking, and you bring it in, and then you can still move it around, you know, so and see where it fits, how it fits, and you can remove it if it doesn't work, stuff like that. That's also an experience thing, but also maybe an interesting tutorial. Alexis says, to never get a creative block. I've been in one for a month now. It's like I've forgotten how to composite and have no idea what to do with images anymore. That's very interesting. And I think that happens to everybody. So sometimes it's okay to just not do anything for a while and then it comes back, because sometimes you're just creatively depleted. There's just nothing more that you can pull out of the head. There's nothing in there anymore. So you just have to wait a little bit so it can build up again, stuff like that. Do some other things in the meantime. I don't know, maybe read a book or listen to music or other things that inspire you. Or you can look at other people's work. For example, for me, a good source is Pinterest, to have inspirations, also to get in the mood. You know, sometimes you feel like I really don't want to do it right now. I'm not in the zone right now, but then you look at other works from other artists that inspire you, and that can bring back energy and creativity. Also, one of the things I like is to make a lot of plans, because this keeps you up and it keeps you energized and it keeps you interested. And then to also understand for myself, I don't have to go with these plans. You know, I say, okay, this would be cool and this would be awesome. You get hyped about it. But if you know you don't have to do it and it's okay not to do it, that's good, because you still get all these kind of, how do you say, lucky, like happiness hormones, like this happiness stuff in your body. I don't know the English word for that, but you're just excited about it and you're like, okay, well, this just didn't pan out. That's okay. That's creative process, you know. If you have 50 ideas and you realize one, that is good. That's already good if you do it in a good way, you know. So don't worry too much about it. You can also write down notes, make sketches, make a sketchbook where you put down ideas, and then you can go back to that and maybe find something that inspires you, or go back to something that was more interesting and had a certain kind of expression, a certain kind of rhythm or feeling or artistic idea, energy, concept in there. Because over time, sometimes it gets a little bit diluted. Maybe you get off the tracks and then you want to go back to how it's kind of feels right, if you know what I mean. So that can also be helpful. But I'm not sure if this could be a tutorial. Maybe a video for my Facebook group though. I maybe should do more of those. Zane says, finding and making the right assets that I need or want to add in my photos. That's also interesting, especially if you find the right assets that you use a lot. That can be very helpful with brushes, with overlays, these kind of things. I would not build up a huge library, to be honest, because then it gets cumbersome and you get a collector and the collection gets bigger and bigger and you feel the weight of it like pressing you down because you feel like you have to use it because you created it. So I went away from that in many areas and just use the things, like I have some things I use a lot and the rest I just find when I need, you know, and just to know where to find them. One word things are never a good idea, like lighting. What is that? I don't know. That can be 1,000 things. So that doesn't really, if you like describe it, that would be better. It really, there's so many things that can be lighting. It can be on location, it can be afterwards. Like, is it digital lighting? Do you want to adjust the lighting? Is it the ambient light? You want to add some light, or I don't know, maybe it's just actual lighting. No, that would be lightning. That's a different word. Okay, but yeah, that's okay. David says, how to know when to stop, to walk away and leave for another day. That is also a good idea. On how to decide that. So there's interesting enough, there's a lot of artistic questions. Should I do more videos about those, maybe? Would that be interesting on my channel to it doesn't always have to be about photo editing. We can also talk about artistic things, how to approach them, how to work with them. Like I say, when do you know when it's finished? When do you know when to step away of the things? And it kind of depends on how important the work is, I would say. If you really need to have a finished feeling for it, like if it's a major work, you probably want to work more on it and have a better grip on is it finished or not. If it's not that important, you can bring it to a stage where I say, okay, I feel okay with that. I don't have to do more, and it could be done. You can always do more, but you don't have to do more in that situation. Or you can also create another variation of it in a either completely different style, or you try to do the same thing a second time, and you will be surprised that the second time it either might be a lot better, because then you have the experience, so you know all the steps, but then you can add some flavor to it, or it can also be that you figure out that actually the original was better because there was more experimenting, more freedom, more playfulness in there, and then it's okay to have reached that kind of stage in the first work. So, and you can also do it multiple times. There's also this kind of thing where it says like the artist's work is never finished, basically, because you can always change something. I would just at a certain point say, okay, that's enough. I want to just work on other things now. If it's a work that makes you happy. And you can also let it sit. That's also a good idea. Let it sit for some days and then come back with fresh eyes. Look at it if you still like it. Some of my stuff that I've created in the stream, I really like. Other stuff I really don't like anymore. I think I even removed it from Instagram. Because sometimes you think it's a good idea, but then you come back afterwards and you see all the mistakes you've made, or all the kind of that the idea wasn't that good, or it just didn't come together as well, and then you just can kick it. There's another one, says overexposure. Again, just like one word or two words that don't really tell me much about what the problem here is. It's like when someone asks you what's I don't know, what's your problem with sports, and you say arm, and you're like, okay, arm what? It doesn't help. Okay, getting skin tone spot on. That's an interesting one. A lot of people have asked me about that. I should do a tutorial about that. I don't feel that secure about it myself. I want to do some research about that to actually know what to put in the tutorial and how to teach that. But I really should do that. How to download the instruction manuals, tutorials into my brain. That is actually something you can abandon, actually. Like, there is two parts to it. The one part is decide what you want, what your style is, and then you don't need to know the rest. And the other part is to know where to find things if you want to know them, you know? It's like also for me, sometimes I look up my own videos to see what I did back then to create a certain effect, because I prepare a video for like explaining how it works, but then sometimes it's something that I rarely ever use. So it's good to have a place where I can look up the stuff, how I explained it, how I created that kind of effect. I would do these two things, like decide what you want to do and focus on that, and then just know where you find stuff if you need it, where you look up that stuff. But don't try to know everything. This is also a mistake I made for the longest time of my life, to think just accumulating as much knowledge as possible makes sense. But the problem is that you forget all these things, you know, over time. Nobody can remember everything. So it is nice to have tried it once, so you have a feeling for it. But the specifics, first of all, the knowledge alone isn't doing it. The experience makes it good art. not the knowledge on how to do it. Because if it was just the knowledge, everybody would be a good artist, because you can read a book about photography, but it doesn't make you a photographer. Taking a lot of photos makes you a photographer, and you get a better photographer by having the knowledge, but just the knowledge doesn't really help, so you would have to train it. You have to do it a lot to get better, to just get it into an actual art form. Hi, Steffi. Stevie? Is it Stevie or Steffi? I'm not sure. Hi. Thanks for joining the stream. And Daniela from Uruguay. Hi. Wow. Awesome. Pretty nice. Proper selection and, let's say, women's long hair. Everybody is into women's long hair when it comes to selecting things. It's really interesting. It's very complex, so that's probably the reason for that. On a non-solid background, okay, even more complex. Yeah, okay, so that should be also a tutorial. This is more of a technical thing, where it's easier to probably talk about that. I'm red-green colorblind, which means I have to pay very close attention when using color wheels and sliders. Let's just say the results can be interesting. If I don't, so for me, the magic wand would give me full color vision. That is an interesting thing. Okay. I have no idea about that. I have seen videos where they have these glasses, but I think they only fix some ways of color blindness. Really complex. On the other hand, this might be a benefit, because if you say it creates interesting complex results, there have been artists in art history that have been famous for their color selections, but afterwards they found out that they just had problems with their eyes and saw the colors differently, but the results were really amazing from the colors they used, because they were kind of the wrong colors, but they looked really good. So that can also be a benefit. Maybe you can make the weakness into a strength, so that's kind of a good thing also. Dealing with the color cast costs when old color photos has bonded to glass in a picture frame. Wow, that is very specific. And there's an example. Oh, I don't know. Okay, interesting. I've never thought about that kind of thing where it's bonded to the glass. Okay. Huh. Interesting. 10, but that's like, actually you probably need a magic wand. I don't know if there's a technique to do that. 10% more hours in the day and 50% more patience. That is a good one. By the way, patience for me, one thing I found to battle impatience when working on something is to have relaxing music in the background. For me, it helps because it keeps the brain busy. You don't have all these kind of side thoughts, because your brain is listening to the music, and then you can just work on the thing. And when you have like piano music or something, a mix from YouTube that goes 3 or 4 hours, that is kind of a nice thing, to be more patient with that. About the time thing, well, that's difficult. Although, I think it's also a life decision, because, the interesting thing that I observe in my life and in other people's life is either if you want really something, or if you come into a situation that you can't change, you suddenly have the time, There is nobody who has a heart attack but doesn't have the time to go to the hospital. You have time if you make time. So if you really, really want to do something. For example, another example is if you marry something from another country, like from the other side of the world. Let's say I'm here in Europe and the other person that I marry is in Japan. I would maybe on my own time travel to Japan once in my life, maybe twice if I really like it. But if you marry someone from there, you can be rest assured that you will travel at least once a year, or maybe once every 2 years to Japan. So you will go there like 30 times in the rest of your life, or 40 times, 50 times. Suddenly it's possible, you know. So that's really interesting. That suddenly you have this connection, and then you suddenly you're able to do that. Otherwise you would say, oh my god, it's so expensive and it's like I can't do it, but suddenly you can, you know. So that's interesting. Yeah. What does the chat say? Wait a second, let's move the chat over here. I need to remove this a little bit here so I can pop out the chat, so I don't have the strange situation to look over there. I'm not sure what I have read so far. Serbia, I've heard that. Uruguay. Hi, Pierre. Colin says, yes, there are glasses which can help, but some colors are removed. Oh, interesting. Sean says, oh yeah, hi, Sean. How you doing? Colin says, yes, I might post some of my work where my daughter has pointed things like the green sky to me. Oh, interesting. Okay, interesting. Richard says, hi from Poland. Hi, how you doing? Sean's from Georgia. Seeing your work. Oh, okay, work. Yes. Humidity does this to glass and paper. They get stuck together. After it dries, they bond together. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, with humidity, of course, you get that. Yeah. Interesting. Played COD for a while. Oh yeah, we did. Oh yeah, we played Warzone. That's true. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. All right, let's go on for all these comments here. Marco says, turning color into black and white and seeing what is good and bad for black and white, setting colors to match and balancing them. Okay, that's interesting. And I would say, again, for this is like just play around with the thing and see what kind of results you get. Maybe take some notes. In Affinity Photo, it's kind of hard to record the things you have done or save the process. In other softwares, it's a little bit easier. Like if you work with NIK Collection, you can save it as a recipe or as a preset, and then you can look it up. You can go back to that, make some adjustments, and then see what comes from that. So you can build up a collection of kind of recipes and styles for yourself. So it's pretty cool. Ian says experience. That's important. And again, like just comes over time. Amdra says memorize all of the tool shortcuts, shortcut keys in all editing softwares. Yeah, that is a problem sometimes. By the way, there is something, it's not maybe for shortcuts, but it can help sometimes. Wait a second, I will go to Amazon real quick. Elgato. It's called Elgato Stream Deck. This one here. It's not cheap. You see, it's 150 euros. That is. And you have these buttons, as you can see here, and you can program them yourself. And it doesn't look like much buttons, but you can make folders, and you can make folders inside of folders. So you can actually make hundreds of these buttons, and you can create the images that you see below of the buttons. So if you work with a lot of complex software, I don't know, like Affinity Photo, like video cutting, like stuff like that, this can actually help to get these functions there, or to open and close windows, these kind of things. I was thinking about maybe getting one of those. I'm not sure if I need it for the stream because I don't do much effects, but this might be interesting. It's called the Elgato Stream Deck. It's not just for streaming, like I said. You can have a lot of different functions. Okay. Where was I? Oh, there we go. To solve in macro all the problems of depth of field, I dream of it. Focus stacking maybe. Oh, with macro photography. One of the major things with macro photography to get better results is to use a flash. If you just use daylight, even if it's a bright day, it's not going to be good. You're not going to get like this nice sharpness. And if you have, you can use photo stacking, of course, but with a flash, you have so much more light that you can have other settings on your camera that give you a bigger a depth of field area, you know, so that the insect or the blossom or whatever is like has a bigger range of sharpness in there. Because otherwise, if you just have daylight, it's just like a paper thin slice and the rest is just blurred. So that's not going to be helpful. Especially if you go really macro with an actual macro lens. Some lenses have macro functions, but it's not really macro. And the other ones you can get really, really close to that. And then it's like paper thin, that the cut of actual focus that you have. And with a flash on that, you can set it up differently. And then you have a huge, like not a huge, but a bigger range of sharpness in the picture. So that is very helpful for that. And you can also try focus stacking. Creating a brush collection of the brushes you actually need instead of 5,000 you acquire on the basis of that might come in handy. Yeah, this is what I talked about before. Don't make these extra big, huge collections of stuff that you don't need. Select the things you need often, that you like a lot to work with, and the rest you can keep around maybe if you want to, or you can just keep the like, for example, you download a collection of 50 overlays, but you know you only need gonna need 5 of them. That is still good. It's good value because you have 5 that you actually use, but you don't have to use or don't feel forced to use the rest. You can just delete them or keep it somewhere as a backup out of the way so it doesn't interfere with your work process. How long is the stream time? Half an hour. Okay, that's good. So let's go to some more. Okay, we are almost finished. I think there's some on YouTube also. The age-old problem of not being able to get a perfect mask every time in the first shot. Is that a task to get the good mask in the first shot without fringing or other masking issues? I can get it sorted out in the end, but if I had... okay. So you just want to have a quicker way to select things. This is basically what that means. That's true. And I think we will see in the next years, well, like, I think the next 5 to 10 years, we will see really, really dramatic developments in photo editing software, especially with the AI. Not just having an AI inside your computer, inside your software, but what the AI can create as a software, as a tool, as an effect, as a filter, and then you can use it without the AI as a finished product. So we will see really amazing things there in that area. Selecting hair with a single click on a complex background. Yeah, again, the hair problem. Being fairly new to Affinity Photo, my biggest challenge is always trying to follow all the tutorials that are using past versions of Affinity. Buttons have moved, things change, and I get lost. I don't know if there is anything that can be done about this, aside from just becoming more familiar with Affinity. But if I had magic wand, I would find a way to work around this. Is it that often with Affinity Photo that things change dramatically where the buttons are and how things look? I mean, sometimes there's a little bit of searching around, and you also have this kind of online help. So if you are inside of Affinity Photo, I think you press F1, it opens up the manual basically, and there you can just enter the search term, and it will show you often a screenshot and where to find the things. So that's helpful. I would love to see a tutorial on how to use the right side of blend options to the one that says underlying. I've used that more in recent times. I fiddled and fiddled with that, but see no difference. In fact, most of the time, the right side does nothing at all. Yeah, so that's interesting. And I'm using that more lately. I mostly before, as you see in my live streams and videos, I use the left side, but the right side has a lot of interesting applications. And it's just like it says, it's based on the stuff that's underlying, which means it lies below the layer. that the effect is on that you use the blend range for. I would love to see a tutorial on how to I would love to see a tutorial on how to cut out objects onto the ground of a background and make it look real and not pasted. I made actually 2 tutorials that cover that. One is about perspective, the other one is about ambient light. I don't think one is specifically about ambient light, so it's kind of hard to find. It's more about mock-ups and how to integrate it. I still need to make a video about specifically, no, I made one about ambient light. So there's actually one. It's not called ambient light, it's called something else. Let's see. Okay, ambient. Oh, there's my music. Okay, I make music actually, by the way. I haven't done some... Okay, this is 3 years ago. Wow, I've been a little bit lazy. Ambient light. No. There we go. Combine 2 photos. This is that. This is more about the light situation, and so it's about matching colors. Maybe I should change the title here, matching colors, because people were confused and say, hey, the dancer doesn't have a shadow, but it was just about the light situation, the color situation. Okay. Let's go. We can close this actually here. What was the other one? Sean says how to create a shadow that looks realistic on a separated calc placed under a character or cutout object without shadow. What is a separated calc? What means calc? Placed under a character or cut out object without shadow. Does it mean how to place a shadow on an uneven ground? Is that what it says? I'm not sure. Placing shadows on a flat ground, that's kind of easy. And on a bended ground, you have to basically use liquify, because Affinity Photo doesn't have something that recognizes the shape of the ground below, and understands like depth in a picture. Is there a way to create focus stacking? Yes, there is. There's a function that is called focus stacking in Affinity Photo. I should also do a tutorial about that. I have not done. People have asked me about it, but I haven't done it so far. Let's have a look here. There's another 5 comments, and then we start doing the photo composite. Wait a second. There's some comments here. While this is loading. I'm not sure why it's not loading. Sean says, I got Luminar AI on pre-order. We'll see how that works out. Yeah, let's see how good that is. I mean, the functions they have in Luminar 4 are kind of nice. So that's pretty cool. I'm not sure if they have huge changes in the new version. I've not seen it yet. But if you look, if you want to know about what AI can do, you should go to a channel that is called 2-Minute Papers, and there you will see some mind-blowing stuff of what photo software can do. Like, for example, and by the way, NVIDIA is a huge researcher in that area. They do a lot of research for that. You can look at a lot of different pictures. For example, here. You have one where the AI, let's turn down the sound here, where the AI turns a cat into a dog. These are all AI people, it's not a photo. So you can see this is all like created, the actual photo is created by the AI. It's not combined from other photos, it's created by the AI. Also these are not real people. This is AI created. And here you can see, for example, I'm not sure what is it doing here right now. I think it's taking the face. Yeah, it's taking the face and then just putting it into different situations. So these are all not photos. All of these are created as a combination of this photo and that photo, and is created by the AI. So that's really, really interesting. And we will see some really major things. Here's another one where you can see that you see like this. What is happening here? Oh, yeah. The look of that cat is applied to these cats, and so it looks different. These kind of things. And yeah, you have a lion. In the posture of the cats below, above, and even the dog. You can see, so it's really interesting. Even changing the shape of the ears to fit these kind of ears here, and with the dog ears to do that. With the ears, what I don't think lions do that, but in the photo they do, because the AI applied it to that. So that's really interesting. There's a lot of videos on there. So check out. It's called 2 Minute Papers, the channel. Really, really amazing things of what you can do with photography that we'll see in the next years. So, and also a lot of things we have only seen in sci-fi. For example, from a two-dimensional picture to create a three-dimensional picture where you can basically look around the corners, because the AI can understand if your face looks like this from the front, it has to look like this from the side, and you can just turn the head to the side. Like that, stuff we have only seen in sci-fi in the past, and AI can do that. Okay, let's go back to the actual topics here. So this is really interesting. There we go. How you start to create a professional artwork? Is a professional artwork different from a normal artwork? I mean, professional basically means you make money with it. That's the only difference. People often think professional means that you have more expertise on that, but it's actually not true. As long as you make money, you're a professional in that area, no matter if you're good or bad in that area. But this probably means to have like a expert, like really good artwork, how to create that. And the process, what you do in that case, is you start by doing a lot of research, actually. I mean, that's actually not true. Artists work in a different way, so everybody works differently. Some people, they just like have a picture in their mind, and then they take the picture so that the artwork comes to them. They like want to create it in the process, stuff like that. And then other people do a lot of research before that. But I would say also in general, as an artist, you do a lot of exercises, you do a lot of training, preparation, you read a lot about things, all these kind of things. It doesn't have to be theories that you read. You can read interviews from other photographers. You can read, I don't know, artistic texts, I don't know, art philosophy, or texts from art critics, stuff like that. Depending on what is interesting for you as an artwork. If we talk about an artwork in that sense, you can also talk about an artwork in another sense where, say, you want to be a nature photographer. It's more like a documentary kind of thing you want to do, but still then you would do some research before that and prepare for that and figure out like what is your actual project you want to do, and what is the what should the project actually show, and how can you show that? What kind of steps do you need to take to actually show that? So it's a fairly complex process. And this is also, by the way, if you wonder why is art so expensive, also from younger artists, it's because it takes so much time to create the artwork, and often artwork is very exclusive. For example, in many cases, there's like either you get the original itself and there's no other copy, or it's a limited edition, which is often with photography. So there's only 10 copies in the whole of the world, which also is important for the price of the artwork and for the sustainability of the artwork, because it would devalue itself and the work of the artist if there would be millions of copies of that. So this is more like an artificial process, but important for the environment, I would say, artistic environment. But yeah, research is a big part. I would say in researches, you could either do research if it's about a topic, to research the topic and how you want to present it, or if it's inside of the artistic discourse, which means about art itself and about other artists and the evolution of art, you would research other artists, what they have done, how they have impacted the art, how other people wrote about that, and what you specifically find interesting about that, and then base your work on that. So that is the process. Or the different kind of approaches to process. There's a lot of different ways to approach that. Peter says, in my case, I would be better. It would be a better memory. There are so many features in photo editing software, and my brain refuses to remember them all. There is one old... okay, I'm not going to read the blonde joke. Yeah, like I said, try to figure out what is interesting for you and concentrate more on that instead of just learning everything. You can try everything to see if you like it, but then if you find something that's your niche, try to specialize in that. This is like also the creating of a style or an artistic voice or stuff like that, is to focus on something and say, okay, this is how I work. This is how I express myself. This is the kind of artistic vision that I have in my head that I want to follow. And then this also makes it more interesting, because by niching it down into an area, you will learn a lot more about the finer things inside of that niche, of that area, especially if you then start to research, why do other people do it like that? What are their thoughts? How do they treat it, think about it, have reasons to create it, stuff like that, you know? For example, let's say you go into street photography. There's a lot of different reasons to take a street photo and a lot of different artists and styles and approaches to that. And if you read about that, you will find out about them, and then you can be more specific, and you can have a bigger understanding of why certain things happen in a certain way, you know? For example, do you do street photography to document what's out there, or is it a certain form of voyeurism maybe, that you are just like, you want to see into the private lives, the open private lives of other people, how they are on the streets? Might be a case. You might like the how do you say, so fun, the coincidences that you run into, you know, or just like finding strange things that happen, or documenting a certain part of life, you know. Maybe it's poverty, maybe it's, I don't know, night markets, maybe it's, I don't know, there's a lot of reasons for that, you know. And if you go more specific, then you get a better understanding for that. Extracting an image out of a background, so that seems to be a big topic. To be honest, all I need in Affinity is to have the capability to make GIF files. Well, then you, well, that doesn't work. You need another software for that. It just doesn't work. A straight pen line, you can do that by just clicking and holding Shift and then clicking again. That creates a straight line. And a ruler that would help me. You also have a ruler in their end guidelines. Shapes and lines. Since I look forward to being a graphic designer, you probably want to use Affinity Designer in that case, because then you have more tools for that. Skin tone again. Okay, interesting. Yeah, interesting. All right. So these were, I think, all of them. We can have a look at Patreon, but I don't think anybody wrote something there. Posts, published posts. There we go. Challenge of the week. View. I think everybody posted in Facebook. Yeah, there's no comment here on that, because most of the things are happening inside of Facebook now. All right. Okay, so now what I want to do is let's go to the process of creating a composition, right? As we said. Good. Let's make it square again. I don't know. Let's use this one. 2000 by 2000 should be good enough. Or should I make it bigger? No, let's keep it like that. All right. So what do we need? What I want to have is this kind of picture where you look under the water and over the water, and to create like a floating island in the water, basically. So what we need first is underwater. So we have kind of a cut. This might be interesting. Let's see. No fishes in there. This might be interesting. We could use that maybe. Let's see. We could afterwards add some sea life to it if we want to. But right now I just want to have water. This is water, but it's very plain. Because it needs to be a big, huge mass of water, because there's an island above it. Could that be something? We have some sunlight here. Maybe that's too specific. This might be good. Let's take this one, because there's not so much here. I'm not sure if this is going to look good, but we can try. Let's place this. I'm actually not sure where I downloaded this. Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. Good. So that doesn't look too bad. All right. And then we need a water surface, basically. Water surface? Okay, let's make this, let's open this up in an extra one. By the way, where's my chat so I can see the chat? There we go. I think I missed some stuff. Not so much perspective or light, but where the object meets the ground. Oh, okay. So where to know, how to know where to place it. But this is a perspective thing. You figure out where the ground plane is, and then from the ground plane you can basically, with geometry, find out where to put the object relatively to the ground. I made a video about that. So you pull out some lines. Might be complex if you have not really any way to draw lines around that. Let's see. Perspective. There you have it. So this video, and you can see that this car is correctly on the ground while this car is not correctly on the ground. The video explains how you find the right spot to place the car in the photo. It's not just one spot, but what is the distance from the horizon to place it correctly to make sense, and to give it a certain size also, which is important. Okay, so you can check that out. I will put that in the chat if I find the chat again. Nope, don't open that up. There we go. Boom. That's the one. And you have to be working on a layer that's above something. If you're just working a project with only a single layer, nothing will happen. I think this is a response to something else. Oh yeah, you have to, of course, you have to have multiple layers if you want to use a blend mode. Not a blend mode, a blend range. Because it's blending, like it says, blending two things together. So that's true. Craig, try with blurring edge of object. Okay, this is something else. Mask the object and change, use black brush. Yeah, you can use a mask and then just paint out the things you don't need. That's also good. We will use that in this video also. Also, by the way, if that's complicated for you, you can also try to just put something in front of that, you know? Maybe a little bit of grass, or maybe a little bit of fog, or maybe a little bit of, I don't know, another object. Let's have a cat sit in front of the legs or something like that. You can hide it, you know? They always do it in movies, in advertisements, stuff like that. If there's something that's too complex, they just like put another effect on it so you don't see it really, or they put something in front of it so you it's just hidden, and then you don't have to put in the work, you know? So this is also a big part of artistic work, is to just figure out how to get beyond certain things you don't feel good about doing, you know, you don't know how to do. Or you find something who can do it, but that would be only for a bigger project probably. So I also often do that, you know, if I don't feel like the effect is there, a little bit of fog solves a lot of problems, you know, in landscapes, for example, or photo composites, stuff like that. Here we have something that might be good as a surface. There's a little bit of stuff here, but we can remove that. Why are so many of those so close to the surface? Well, I did enter a surface. Maybe this one? It's a little bit thin though. Maybe I should go here to the orientation landscape and see what we get from that. 1 second. Just want to find maybe this one. I mean, this is too fine from the waves. The other one is too big from the waves. So I would like to have something that's just right. Should we try to combine one that is maybe closer and the other one is further away? I'm not sure. There's these stripes here. That's also not good. Maybe we find something here. This one is not bad, but there's a rock here. I mean, also the problem is who just photographs water with nothing on there. I will download this too. We can use that. I have the same problem and figure out that masking and playing with opacity on edges is very helpful. If not, work well that in using Gaussian blur a little bit. I also made I made another video, it's not too long ago, about working or removing glowing edges, and this also can be used to soften edges if the edge is too strong, too harsh. Look at this video here. Remove bright edges selection trick. This bright edge. I show how to make the selection smaller and then softer, but you can also just do it. Make it a little bit smaller, like 3 pixels or so, 2 pixels, and then blur it a little bit, and it will also give you a soft outside of the selection. So that's also a good thing. I will also post that in the chat. 1 second. So this is the other one about selections. Okay, let's go back to this. Maybe I use this picture because it's kind of good. So let's go with that. Doesn't download. There we go. Okay, probably this is kind of big resolution. Okay. Good, so what we want to do here is to basically maybe like make it a little bit flatter or so and combine it with this. So then it looks like there's a cut here, you know? And we want to adjust this a little bit. Maybe it's too fine from the waves. We will see. We will see. No worries. Okay, let's find an island. Hey, should we use a green island like this? That is nice. I wanted to put a building up there or something else. This is also a nice island. Wow, this is pretty cool. Oh, we could... I mean, there's some plants on there, so this can't be underwater. I mean, this looks fairly artificial. I don't think that's an actual photo of something. This looks like a combination of different landscapes, especially with this strange road that's going here along the, like going over the cliff, basically. Is that an actual island? Really? But what is this then? This kind of strange path here. Nah. It has to be like an artificial combination of stuff. Hi DS, how are you doing? Okay, so this doesn't look too good, but maybe this one could be interesting. We can remove that little house here and then put something else on there. Or maybe something that's just stone. This one, but it's like... The problem with trees is that then we have a size relation to it, you know? I mean, it could also be bushes. So maybe that's not... But on the other hand, the selection is a lot more complex. Probably not that complex, though. We can try it. I will download it. We can play around with that. I also have to look at the time because the stream is limited to 2 hours. So I want to finish this in the 2 hours. What do you say to a small island? Like this one. What is this called? Oh, need to turn off the sound from my phone. Sorry about that. There we go. Is there a special word for that? Creative process. Awesome. That's always good. Thank you, DS. That's really good to know. I will use the island we have downloaded for now. We can replace it later on. Let's see. This also gives us a good idea of what else we need in the photo. Let's resize this a little bit. Or maybe I open this up separately. 1 second. I open this up in a separate file so we have the original resolution. And then we make a little bit of selecting here. I hope that Affinity Photo makes this fairly easy. Because sometimes it does, and sometimes you think it should be easy, but then it's completely not. But that looks rather good, I would say. And it doesn't have to be like super precise, every leaf captured or something like that. If there's a little bit of stuff missing from the island, that is okay too. Let's see what the selection says. Black and white. Is this the foreground? Yes. The black and white view is one of the most useful ones to figure out what the selection actually does. Because you can actually see it working. And with the other views, with this little like red overlay that you have for the normal ones, you don't really get a good understanding of what is happening. Oh, I completely did that wrong. Black and white. And you can see, okay, good selection. Let's go up here real quick. That looks kind of decent, I would say. So let's copy this over to the other picture. And now we've only the island. We have to change the colors of that later on. But for now, that's okay. Kind of always also fits the surface. We want to have some background there too. But for now, it kind of looks good. Okay, so now we need a big rock. Rock, see? Let's see. I need a big rock that doesn't have any plants on it. Like this. I think that might be it. Wait a second. Let's open this up in a new tab and then see what else we get here. Maybe we get one that looks a little bit more exciting, but we can actually use that. I mean, we only have 1 hour, so let's take this one to make it not too complicated. Let's open this up on its own again. I can actually close this one and then make a quick selection of the left side here. I guess we need a bigger brush. There we go. That should be super easy to select. Okay. Refine. Should be good. Perfect. Okay. Let's copy this over to here. And then what we want to do is to simply make this the same size as the island and just put it below the island. Boom. That's it. That's the whole process. We can actually stretch this out a little bit and maybe make it a little bit shorter or something. Okay. So this is basically the island part. We need to put this below the surface of the water, like so, and then make an effect on that so it looks like it's actually underwater. And so this is coming along very nicely. We want to have a little bit more stuff in the background. It looks a little bit boring right now. So let's have some mountains in the far distance. Let's see if we find something good here. And I wanted to try this out because I've never done this kind of underwater effect. And I think it's kind of cool. And it should be fairly easy to do that. Mountain Valley. I hope we find something good. We can also use individual mountains and just place them into the background and make it look like it's a landscape. That is also possible. Because right now it doesn't look too promising. Maybe this. And then have the water flow along here, the sides maybe, I'm not sure. Let's give it a try. Let's see how that looks. We don't have too much space here, so I guess we have to make everything a little bit lower here in our picture, because maybe the square format wasn't the best idea to work with, but I will try to make it work. So let's see. Let's put a mask on this real quick, paint some areas out. That's way too big as a brush. Let's make this 100% and then just paint some stuff out here. So just we get a certain idea of if this looks good in the first place, you know, because if it doesn't, we don't have to use it. So we probably have to move everything else a little bit lower, right? Well, we have to paint the rest out too. I forgot about that. Maybe I need to make the these two way smaller. Oh, I used everything. 1 second. By any chance, do you have an Affinity tutorial on how to do seamless look for IG? What is IG? A seamless look for IG. What is a seamless look and what is IG? Oh, Instagram. A seamless look. What does that mean, a seamless look? Like everything looks the same? Is that what you mean? I made a video about that actually. 1 second. Consistent style. This is the one. Let's close this. There you go. Without noticeable borders. I use seamless. I'm not sure what that means. You want to repeat an overlay in a photo, or you want to have this kind of slideshow thing that's seamless? Is that what you mean? I need a little bit more information about that. Should we, maybe we can keep some of that stuff here in the background? Let's see. Let's just slide along here on the surface a little bit. Gives us some information on where the surface is, so that's good. And this goes back here. And then we can maybe go like this. And then go over here. Okay, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Let's go to add. And I guess maybe here we have to go down here. No, I was the wrong direction. I use seamless patterns, for example. Okay. So you need to give me some more information because I'm not sure what you mean right now. Okay, let's make a mask from that. Boom. Okay, this was the wrong way around. Undo. Select, invert selection. Mask, there we go. Is that better? We have to paint some fog in here, so we cover this a little bit up. Doesn't look too good right now. And then maybe we want to bring this up a little bit. Like so. And then I saw before when I played around with them, we could stretch this a little bit so that the island and the stuff below it becomes a little bit more exciting. Like so. Maybe push this up even more. So this is not too bad actually. Okay, the foreground is not good, so we want to keep it like this. Okay. You can make seamless patterns in Photoshop as an example, a pattern you can use on a table. But I don't think he means that, because IG is Instagram. Why would you need a seamless pattern on Instagram? I'm not sure. Okay, let's duplicate this. And I'm fairly sure if we duplicate this and just set it to soft light, yeah, there we go. So this is already kind of an underwater look. We want to play around a little bit with the light situation. So let's make a big brush here. Low opacity. Maybe keep it at 20% or something. And then we need white as a color. I want to make this even bigger. Okay. Less opacity. There we go. That's already a lot better. I think this needs to be a little bit wider, so it feels a little bit more connected to the island. Okay. So this starts to look good. We want to do some more, like for example, here you can see the trick with the, because here you have this kind of, you see, like this glowing edge from the original picture. So the only thing you need to do here is make a selection, and then you want to shrink the selection. You can actually see where it goes, like so. And then you want to feather the selection a little bit. So feathering means to make it soft, like so. And then I will invert that, and then I can simply delete the stuff I don't want. We have to select the right layer, of course. Boom, gone. And so we don't have the glowing edge anymore. Maybe I do it another time. There we go. So now it's a soft edge around that. We want to paint some more color onto our rock, and also some dodge and burn. Let's work a little bit with this stuff here too. That doesn't look too hot right now. Let's make a selection here, maybe as a rectangle. Or, wait a second. Let's make a box blur. Okay. So now the water is blurred, and now I make a gradient that goes from linear gradient goes from black to white. There we go. And then I just place this on here as a mask. So you have a little bit of depth of field here, where this hits the front, basically of the glass, if you know what I mean. Can make it even more blurred. I think that the waves here are a little bit too even. So I'm kind of regretting a little bit that we took these flat waves, but at the other hand we have this kind of landscape here. So maybe we make a little bit of a, how could we do that? Maybe a little bit of a mask here. And then just paint a tiny bit onto that. DS, please refrain from posting links. What did he post as a link? Deleted by Streamlabs. View deleted message. If you go to my I did the look. I am Photoshop. Wait a second. Can I let me see real quick. I'll put this over here because I don't know what's on there. 1 second. Is that the right one? No, I don't think so. Well, I'm not finding the chat right now. And then what did you say? 1 second. The 18th photo from the bottom. From the bottom? What do you mean by the bottom? Oh. I still don't see anything that has a kind of a seamless. I don't know what that means. Maybe post a link to the photo and then I can see it, the link, on my side. So I can click on that. Whoops, 1 second. Okay. Yeah, but I'm not going to count 18 up right now in the stream. So maybe post a link and then I can look at that. Let's go to the picture here again. So let's see if I make a mask here. Set this to 100%. Let's try if I make this a little bit uneven. So maybe it looks a little bit wavy. Whoop, that was a bit too much. It's a little bit better, maybe. Okay, that made it worse. I thought it makes it better, but it didn't. Okay, that's good. We have to address the look of the sea of the surface anyways, because it's way too bright and stuff. We have to bring all these elements together in the end. It gets blocked by Streamlabs, but then I can make it visible. Or does it? You can't post one at all. A link. Normally, it just deletes the link, and then I can see it on my side. So that should work, I'm not sure. Okay. Let's see. I think let's bring these elements a little bit better together. So let's play here with the curves a little bit for this one. Let's see, bring this down a little bit so that starts to look a lot better. Let's see if we can do something with the colors here to bring that a little bit closer to okay, so it doesn't work. I don't know. I'm not sure what to do about that right now. We can talk about that maybe in another stream or so. Okay, so let's paint on this here a little bit. I make a new layer here. Also, maybe just check out my, if you mean the carousel effect, just check out my YouTube channel. If you go to the channel, you can just search here on this search icon and see if you can find that, you know. Instagram. I made several things about Instagram, I think. There is this kind of carousel effect and this kind of, if you have multiple pictures, that you get that, stuff like that. So the grid effect, the carousel effect, the consistent style, these kind of things, different looks for Instagram. So there's a little bit of stuff in there that you can look up on different topics. Maybe one of that covers it. I'm not sure, but it's a good starting point, I would say. Okay, so let's paint on this a little bit. I'm just thinking I should do this differently. So let's clear this up again. And then make it a little bit less visible down there. One more idea for the bottom. The rock would look darker at the far end. Yeah, this is what I'm painting right now. To make this a little bit less visible down here. Okay. Let's wait a second. Inverts pixel selection. And then what we want to do is to feather this a little bit like so. And then erase the part on the outside. Let's see. Nope, that wasn't too good. Let's do this differently. I'm on the right layer? Yes, I am. Okay, good. Okay. There we go. Okay. And then let's see if we make everything a little bit darker in the lower end. This is not doing it. Come on. What's going on? Okay, there we go. Let's blur this. Paint this in a little bit on the side too. Does this paint or not? Oh, I'm on the razor again. Okay, my classic mistake. There we go. All right, we had this other picture before. We can look at that and then we can turn to the landscape. Let's see, we had this picture that was nice. We can try to maybe overlay that. What do you say? Not so much a gradient and slight light ripples because the water up top isn't completely smooth. There would be some light changes below, at least till you go deep enough. Okay. There we go. Let's see if we want to add something of that, but probably not, because this is way too big, these bubbles here. I thought it might be nice, but probably not. Let's see. Ah! Maybe it's better than I thought. We could put it behind the island. Where's the island? There's the island. It's not too bad, actually. It's interesting. Interesting effect. It's a little bit of effect to that. Let's remove the darker parts. Why? Okay, strange. Hi, Ingo. Thanks for joining. That is really strange because the bubbles are way more visible. I don't know why they are not getting selected in a better way. Okay, let's try it like this and then just like reduce it a little bit. Can go like that, so that's pretty cool. We have half an hour or more, so we have some more time. That's good. Wait, should I? Maybe I did. Let's try to delete some of that stuff over here. Okay, that's cool. Where did we have that? Did I not save the one with the turtle? There was a really nice picture of a turtle floating in the water. Well, we just entered underwater before, right? Underwater. There we go. There's some dolphins here. There's a turtle, but I think it was this turtle here. That's the one, yeah. Okay. Let's download that. There we go. Let's select that. So we're coming along pretty well. Refine. Okay, that should be good enough. Let's copy this over, put it here. I probably should save. Save. I don't know where to save that. Let's go here to live stream. I will move it later. Floating island. There we go. Okay. So let's put the turtle down here. Is it strange to have just one turtle here, or? It's a start. Let's leave it like that. Okay, so let's now look at the surface up here. What we want to do there. We need to adjust the colors. We need to bring in some more kind of an effect around these areas. They don't look good at all. Let's see. Maybe we blur the selection here a little bit. Apply. And then feather it. Select invert. Or should we, I think maybe it's good if we go like that. Turn this off. Make a new selection. Okay, so that's a bit softer than before. Now we have, of course, this edge here. We can paint that out, not a problem. 1 second. Nope, that's the wrong way. And then we just solve the rest of it with a little bit of fog down there. And we probably want to have a better selection around here, although this is kind of a complex edge here. Let's see what we can do about that. Let's paint this in too much. And then I can paint it out again. Where does this go? Oof, that's hard to see. Make this a bit softer. Nope, that looks very artificial. Okay, and here we will make this very soft, like so. A bit bigger maybe. And then I just paint it into the other direction, sharper again. And there we go. It's okay. All right, now what I want to do is to paint some fog in the background. So we cover up this area a little bit. Set this hardness to 0, opacity low. Maybe we can find another brush. Using a hairbrush, you can simulate waves splashing against the island. That might be a good idea. We can try that. Let's have let's see if we have something here that is a little bit softer. Not engraving, of course. Maybe this one. I will already blur this a little bit. Okay, that's horrible. Opacity needs to be lower. That is too low. We don't have that much time. And then just paint a little bit of foggy edge here around that. Cover that up a little bit. Maybe make this a little bit smaller in the background, because these parts are further away. So we have covered this. And then let's make a new layer and make this big, make it low from the opacity. Is this a new layer? Yes, it is. Okay, good. Okay, that is not good. I guess we now use a basic brush again. Okay. So now we can adjust this a little bit and that a little bit. And then we take the good old fog brush that I often use and see where that goes. We can still change that, no problem. I want to put this actually behind the island. This is too small. The problem with that fog brush is it doesn't have like actual like free floating fog. No, wait a second. I will put them on individual layers. Like so. And then I can erase some stuff. Nope, that's the wrong one. Maybe just put this over everything. There we go. The one we created before is still a bit strange. Wait a second, this is not the one. Okay, so this is the shore fog, so we know what this is. And then the landscape fog. Okay, so maybe let's duplicate this one. And then I want to make one a lot blurrier. Like so, and then make the other one less visible. Okay. This one is the landscape, right? Yeah, okay, good. Okay. Fog mid. This is the fog on the right side. Fog right. And then we have the fog left. Okay, good. So let's do some color adjustment for the landscape and some brightness adjustments too. So let's put a curve in here for that. What does the chat say? Sorry. Using a blah, maybe white edges on the rock, like foaming the water hitting the rocks. We could edit some foam in, but because we only have an hour to create this, I have to cut some corners. So usually, I mean, if you take 2 or 3 hours for that, you can do a lot more, of course. And here we do a little bit of tricky stuff to make it hopefully still look good. Let's take a little bit of the red out here. Oh, that's not good. Okay, let's adjust the island a little bit. Let's go here to color balance for the island. Curve. Okay, it's getting better. Make the mask here too. And we also need a shadow for the island. I forgot about that. Let's see. This is the wrong brush altogether. Okay. We could create a little bit of reflection maybe. Let's duplicate this and rasterize it. Does it include? Yeah, it does include the map. The mask, not the map. Flip vertically. There we go. Pull this down here. Just like a slight reflection. Okay, we need to push this up a little bit, at least over here. Maybe I do this with warping because the rest looks kind of good. So I warp this up here a little bit. Like so. That should be okay. And put it behind the island, of course. There we go. And then we want to create a new layer here. Let's call it shadow. Shadow, there we go. Give me a brush. Let's reduce the opacity here. Where's the sun coming from? It's coming from up here, so it's falling down here. So let's paint a little bit in here. It's a little bit darker. Okay. Let's go to the island, create a new layer on top of that, make a little bit of dodge and burn here. Let's see, let's make some areas here a little bit darker. Make some areas a little bit brighter up here. Maybe also this area here. There we go. I want to delete some of the stuff I put here. Although maybe we can't see it, I'm not sure. Can you see that? Put a little bit of stuff over here, not that important. Okay, so that's a lot better, of course. A landscape doesn't look that great for now. So we have to play around with that a little bit. Okay, let's open up the original landscape. Arrange, no, filters, blur, average blur. Let's take this over to the other picture. Rasterize, so it's, oh no, rasterize and trim, sorry. Rasterize and trim, there we go. So now this is small. Let's set this to soft light. So this should bring everything a little bit better together. Okay, let's make an overlay here. Where's the overlay? There it is. Try out the different looks from my gradients. No. Wait a second. There we go. Okay. Let's try these real quick just to see. And then I do some more adjustments. I just want to see if there's something that just solves the problem to bring everything together. Let's try the other one. Let's turn this around. No, that's too dark. This one is kind of good. Maybe we don't even need that. Okay. Delete that again. Submarine in the background. Yeah, that would be nice. The only thing I don't like is this kind of fog situation. It really doesn't look that good. What would be a quick fix to just like fix that right now? Because that doesn't look good. The rest is okay, I would say, so far. Can do some more adjustments. But this is not good. I thought it's kind of easy to cover that up, but it's not really looking any kind of good right now. Where's the landscape? This is the landscape here. Let's see what we had before as a mask. And let's try the fog now. No. Also, the water probably should go darker in the back. So we can try this real quick. 1 second. Let's put this on here. Turn this around. Oh, that wasn't it. Where's my... Ah, there we go. Okay. One second. Something is not working here right now. Why does the gradient look so strange? What? Ah, that's because of the fog I put on there. Okay, I see. So probably, yeah, I guess that's what makes this kind of strange look here right now. So if I put this here into soft light and then I turn the fog off. Oh, the fog is off. Okay, so that's the thing. That's the problem. Maybe make this as an ellipse. Okay, linear, elliptical, there we go. Okay, that's getting better. A white, select the water and give it a white outer shadow. Why? Not sure what that does. So let's see, this kind of fog is behind the landscape, so this is not going to work anyways. I will rasterize. Let's group this first and then rasterize it so it's just one layer. Rasterize, there we go. And then I can put a mask on that and paint out these areas in front. So this makes a lot more sense. Probably this is the reason why it looked so strange before. Okay, and also we don't want to have any fog under the water, probably. Do it like that. I think that's okay, right? Let's go with the mask in the other direction. Wait a second, we did create a mask here, right? That's the wrong one. Nope. Okay, 1 second. Almost done. What is this? This is the fog, right? Fog. There's a little bit of a problem. 1 second. I'm not sure why there is a glowing edge around the water. Is this part of the water, maybe? Affinity Photo sometimes does some really strange things. It's not easy to figure out what it is. That's actually the problem. I see there's a little bit of a glowing edge here, but for no apparent reason, because nothing here is actually brighter or darker. I'm not sure what is going on. And this is sometimes Affinity Photo just does these kind of strange things. Wait a second, there's the water. And this is the blur creating a glow? No. Let's pull this down here. Well, it's not that apparent. Let's just leave it. It's okay. It's just like another Affinity Photo thing. So the only thing I want to fix now is this kind of strange shoreline here, but maybe I can just paint on the mask with kind of a dry media brush like this one, or such that has like this hard edge that creates a little bit of a stone effect. So let's try this real quick. Oh, that's too big. This doesn't look great. Sorry, so this is the only thing I just not happy with right now. How about this one? That's actually good. Also keep in mind I'm doing this floating island thing for the first time. So this is more like an experiment, but it's really interesting. So there's space for improvement, but at the same time it's really interesting to try these things out. So I think this is kind of okay. Right now, let's touch this up also back here. Okay. And then I have to take a basic brush again, go the other direction, make this a little bit softer, a little bit smaller, and then switch the color over to white just to fix these areas here. Let's make this a bit softer still. All right. Okay, where was the fog from before? That's this one. Let's paint on the mask here a little bit, maybe to make it less apparent in the middle. What kind of brush is that? Oh, there we go. Nope. Back. All right, there we go. Okay. A little bit more adjustment. Where's the landscape? There's the landscape. Make a color balance on that too. There we go. Should we make this more blue maybe? Make the landscape maybe, let's keep it like this and make a second one. So we just pull everything a little bit down. Okay. Okay. Where is the island? There we go. Just want to bring the green a little bit down from the island, maybe. Maybe make the same thing for the landscape real quick. HSL, there we go. Color picker, this one here. Bring that a bit down, make it a bit darker. Okay, Where's the overall fog? This is the big fog. Reduce that a little bit. Yeah. What's the time? 2 hours 12. Okay. Something is off about the colors and the shore here. So the landscape colors are still a bit strange. But overall, I'm kind of happy. It's not too bad. For the first try ever doing this with this kind of floating island, it's not too bad. It needs a bit more adjustment for everything, but one thing we could also try, 1 second, let's make it just a rectangle over here and then give it a solid color actually. Soft light. Color wheel. Okay, let's go with this. Everything has a little bit of a green touch in it. Maybe that brings it a little bit better together. Okay, one more thing. Merge visible. Set this to soft light. Reduce it a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at this. It's not perfect. It's not bad for the first try. So yeah, I mean for a 1 hour project, it's kind of okay, I would say. Good. What do you think? What are you thinking about this? Is it crap? Is it okay? It's kind of small on the screen. Maybe let's zoom in a little bit. I'm still not happy with the shore. I'm happy with the underwater area, so that worked really great. The island is also kind of nice. Maybe we should have used another landscape for that. I don't know. Maybe the landscape was a bad decision. We can just find another landscape real quick and replace it and see how that looks. Mountains. Let's go. Maybe find really quickly something. I don't know. Let's try this one. Just for the fun of it. Maybe this is just like the wrong colors, the wrong kind of thing happening here. It's always a bit, it's a bit complicated if you have to find everything, like the pictures, and put everything together. Sometimes a little bit much. Let's duplicate this here. Of course, now the other parts are not really fitting in here, right? So this doesn't work either. Wait a second, let's put this in a group and then put the mask on the group. So we can still move this around. Why do I still... forget it. Never mind. Okay. All right. Why do you say the color of the landscape is not correct? What's wrong with it? It just doesn't feel like it's really connecting with the rest, and also this kind of fog situation is stupid. So some things are not that great. So it just doesn't feel like it's there. I don't know. Also, how the landscape connects to the water is stupid. The island looks great. So maybe I should have found something that looks closer to the island for the rest of the landscape, not this kind of red rock. That's kind of a stupid thing, a stupid decision maybe. Yeah, but never mind. It's okay. It's a good start. We can maybe do something like that next time. Maybe try another one like that next time, and then we have more improvements. But for a 1 hour project, for a first try ever to do something like that, that's kind of okay. I'm kind of happy, especially for the underwater effect. That's kind of cool. All right. There we go. Wait a second. I can actually place this on my screen, I think. Let's see. Then we can talk a little bit more. Floating island. There we go. How do I place that? Add a source? No, I don't want to add a scene. I want to add a source. 1 second. Image. Then we can talk a little bit. So there we go. That's the picture of today. I probably have to now put myself a little bit to the left. Where am I? There we go. So that's the image of today. I have to remember to change these settings again next time. Okay. Yeah, the underwater, that worked really great. The over the landscape, I should have changed. I should have taken a different landscape. Yeah, I could look for the photos before it, but it's a nice challenge to try to do that, all of that but maybe that's a good idea, to figure out the pictures before and then only have to care about the process of how to put them together. So that could be a good concept for next time. That's a good idea. Lot. We actually, you know what? Let's see how all of that looks if I make it black and white. You can't see it right now. I'm just trying it. And making it black and white is actually a good way to see problems that are happening with the picture. Yeah, it doesn't look better. The main problem is how the sea touches the mountains. That makes it look really strange. Okay. Good. But I'm still happy. It's a good first try. I think that the rock color is off, like you said, and the opacity of the fog alongside the shore is a bit too much. Other than that, great job. Thank you very much, Colin. That's good. Yeah, that's true. The fog is maybe a bit too much. It should be foggier too. I should have chosen a different landscape, or maybe not use a landscape at all. I could have just used like a surface of the lake, you know, just a water surface, and then a sunset behind that. That would also have been possible. Yeah. But we could try these things more. I also want to try one where you have this kind of this floating cube of earth, and then there is a city or a garden or a forest on top of that. That's also kind of a nice effect. So that was kind of a strange landscape compositing live stream, but it was fun. I haven't done this in quite some time, these kind of compositing things, and never this one, so that was interesting. It's nice to challenge yourself a little bit. Okay, I would say that's it. We're already 20 minutes over. So thank you very much for watching, and I see you soon or in my Facebook group. Let me give you the link to the Facebook group if you want to join real quick. 1 second. Should have pulled this up earlier. And now I don't find it at all. Come on. There we go. So you can join here if you want. And yeah, it was really nice to stream and see you and talk to you. And I hope everything was interesting and you had some fun. All right. Have a good time. See you soon. Bye.